listening to the High Noon Podcast. Your host, Mason Smith.
All right, welcome to another episode of High Noon. I'm actually high, and it is sort of noon.
Yeah.
Wait, it's kind of noon.
It's
yeah.
afternoon.
I'm fucking ripped as shit, guys. So sorry. We got first-time guest Dusty Carter, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello,
Yeah,
Dusty.
hell yeah.
Thanks
And,
for having me, fella.
I didn't figure I needed to say your name again now. I think the allure is over. He's back, guys.
I'm back.
Nicholas is
Oh,
back.
We're
We're
back.
doing
We're
it.
doing
Ryland's here. Casey's here. Having a good time. Man, that really rattled me.
It
I'm
happens. It'll do it.
Yeah.
Texas wildfire.
Holy shit, dude. What was that?
Bubblegum marker.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice. So, prison, huh?
Yep. Been there.
Been there, yeah. Sorry, I just got to go right into jail tales.
No
Sorry,
5-star
yeah, we
Yelp
haven't had
reviews.
I haven't been around for jail tales in a minute.
Yeah.
You been bringing it back?
I've been trying to, and
Nice.
since I'm so high, that's all I got.
Well, so is it prison or jail?
Oh, big time.
I mean,
big boy
everybody
prison.
starts in jail, but I did 8.5 calendars in prison.
Okay.
Now, can I ask you, are we allowed to, what, can I say what happened, or?
Sure.
Yeah, what happened?
Can I say what happened? Oh, yeah. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? My first felony was $15,000 worth of stolen firearms.
Okay. Did you steal the firearms?
No, I was trading drugs for guns for a while, and then got involved with a dude that, yeah, shit happened.
What kind of drugs was it? Wait, can I
Meth.
guess? Okay, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Did you ever do the Pepsi challenge?
Mason, you're the only one that calls it that.
Well, I bet you have a version of it. It's
I-
where you smoke meth and then eat a handful of Xanax.
No, I never.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
No. No, speedballing. Yeah, that was the wrong direction at the same time. No.
Yeah.
There was a reason I wanted to go in that direction.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You
Not
didn't
so
want
I
me-
could throw it in park halfway up the hill. Nah.
I like that.
But yeah, and then I ended up doing 8.5 years.
Wait,
one-
from the first felony, they just
No,
boom?
I did 2 years on that. It was a 3-year sentence. I did 2 years, served out on that. Got out, was out for a few years, and then caught a manufacturing charge.
Meth,
Yes.
shake and bake, or the good stuff.
No, deputy sheriff attempted to pull me over after leaving a farmer's field that I had worked a deal out with, and he parked a anhydrous tank in the woods, and I went and filled up my tanks, and he tried to pull me over while I was transporting 100 gallons of anhydrous ammonia. So at that point, his lights were a mere suggestion.
Yeah, and you booked you
Yeah.
ran.
Yeah.
Did-
Problem was, I had capped off one of the brake lines on this throwaway truck that I'd bought, to do this kind of stuff in, and was waiting on one to come in because there was no Amazon back then that
Yeah.
would get it right to you.
Wait, what year was this?
2008 into 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon, you could just get books at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't like it is now, especially not in nowhere Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so I was waiting on them to get the part in so I could put when I slammed on the brakes to whip in a road, the brakes blew out, and the truck went in a ditch, and a 33-gallon propane tank of anhydrous ammonia came through the back windshield and nosedived into the dash valve first.
Oh,
And there
no.
was no reason whatsoever I should stay in there.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. Wait.
None.
it
The
didn't
fact that it
explode?
didn't explode shows that God loves me.
Wow.
Once again.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I jumped out and was getting away from the truck, and I heard, "Stop! I'm going to put the dog on you." And I was like, I'm not scared of dogs.
Yeah. You were like, I'll pet it.
Yeah. And I kept running.
And
Did
did
it
the
get
dog
you?
come?
Yeah. And you know that thing that dogs do right when they get to hurt something, right on that angle, they'll run up and then they cut that angle where they get to dive.
Yeah, like to
And
get
right
you.
about the time he dived at me, I said, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," and scared the shit out of him.
Oh,
He
you
said,
were?
"Rrr," and rolled. And I kept running. And then I looked down and he was right beside me, like, "All right, where we going? What we doing?
Oh,
What we
then
going?"
you became his friend.
Yeah. Lord knows what my face looked like at that point because I had been up for 13, 14 days.
Oh yeah, none of this is surprising to me.
No, and I was, fight or flight.
Yeah,
And my plans were to dispatch the dog once we cleared the fence line.
because he's your buddy now.
Yeah. So he'll trust me enough to lose his own life,
Yeah.
And then I was like, what are you thinking? And then I realized that my wallet and my phone were still in the truck.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, I guess the shenanigans end now.
Did you just stop?
I stopped and got on my knees, and he was hollering, face down now. And I was like, I'm not laying down in the mud, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He said, lay down or I'm going to put the dog on you.
You were like, I already made friends
This
with him.
is my dog.
Yeah, this is my dog now.
That's funny.
Damn. And so that was the first. Or
That was
second.
it. That was the
second
last time I
arrest.
went to prison.
And then
Yeah.
that was the 8-year one.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. So you got out in 2016?
No, 2013.
Wait.
I did the.
Oh, you're telling. So 8
Yeah.
communicatively.
Yes, total.
Computative.
8.5
Collectively.
collectively. 8.5.
No, I was
That,
thinking-
that wasn't the word he
Yeah,
was trying to
yeah.
go for, but
No, what did you say? Cumulatively. Is what I was
Cumulatively.
trying to
Yes.
say.
Yeah, 8.5 calendars between 2000 and 2013.
Now I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that meth charges one was only
The-
9, 10, 11, 12,
I did-
5 years.
I did 4.5 years on that. They started out offering me 99 years.
Whoa. And you had money. You a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent
They
$26,000.
weren't offering you. No, they weren't giving you drug court.
No, because I had went to jail a couple months prior to that on a attempted murder charge.
Was it the guy you were working for? You tried to kill him or something?
No, there was a guy that had ratted a bunch of people out. He got out, and his nephews whooped his ass, and then he went in the house and accidentally hit a little girl, and then somebody went in his house wearing a mask and beat the fuck out of him and put a gun to his head. He said it was me. The lady that was in the house testified that it wasn't me. I had other people testifying I was somewhere else because
Yeah.
it wasn't me.
Yeah, right.
And
Is it like
and I was
a
out
wasn't
on,
me
I was
situation?
out on bond on that when I got the manufacturing charge.
Right,
and
which is
so
all
they
a
were
bad
like-
look, yeah.
So they were like, "You're going forever," but they dropped all that shit because
Yeah, because it wasn't you.
it wasn't me.
Yeah. God damn. And is this outside Louisville?
No, this is in Western Kentucky.
Okay. What
Yeah.
would be like the nearest city that you lived by? Where you were, what was the nearest city?
Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Damn, so I
101st
don't even-
Airborne.
Yeah, I don't even know
Yeah.
what that town is.
Closest real city would be like Hopkinsville, Kentucky, or Clarksville, Tennessee.
Wow. Yeah.
60.
So,
I grew up 65 miles north of Nashville. on
okay,
the
that one
Tennessee
makes. Okay,
border.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Man, that's wild, dude. So when you went to prison, how long did you have to spend in county before you finally got to go down?
A few months. Not it wasn't long. I think 5 months. Because 3 months I went ahead and took the plea. Because if I'd have took him to trial, I could have beat him on everything except one charge: the possession of the anhydrous ammonia.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Which is
if
a-
I'd have fought him, they'd have hit me with a persistent felony offender.
Yeah.
And
Now,
then-
were you married at the time already?
No,
No.
I was single then.
And no kids at the
So I
time.
had a kid in 2000, but
It's not around anymore.
he was with his
You made-
he lived with his mom. I saw him on the weekends.
well, you made it.
he didn't make it sound like it was gone, like at all.
I
He's
just-
like, he said I had a
wasn't around
kid,
him
like
at that point. At that point, I wasn't
Jesus.
around him a whole lot
Gotcha.
for good reason.
I gotcha. So when you were in prison, what was your main thing of like passing the time? Did you play cards or work out or?
butt fuck guys.
I read.
No,
I
he
like
doesn't
re-
seem like the type.
I liked
I
reading.
don't know. It's 8 years, dude. That's a
Oh, I
long
bet
time.
you seem like a reader.
Yeah, I liked reading books and doing because I never stopped long enough in the real world to read books. And
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's
and,
hard to read a book when you're twacked out for a week at a time.
Yeah, and go to the law library and just learn stuff.
Oh, cool.
I met one guy in there, and I learned a thing based off like the persistent felony offender that all these guys were pleading out and getting 10 years flat. That's illegal. You can't do that. That cannot be offered as a plea. You have to go to trial, and then a jury of your peers has to assign that to you. So there were hundreds of men doing 10-year flat sentences illegally.
Because they scared them into thinking if
And
you
to
don't take
signing
it, you
for
might
it.
do
Yeah.
99 years.
Yeah, into signing for it, and I helped 3 different guys like get theirs given back because this dude showed me his paperwork, and I went to the law library and copied it, and then I would just rewrite it in the law library and type it up for them to send in on their own, and get a full canteen sack of shit for doing it for them.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like, I don't know if it's gonna work for you or not. It's worked for people before, but this is what it's gonna cost you.
And what do you got to lose?
What do you got to lose, brother?
Might as well.
That's 10 years of your life you can get back.
Dude, there's people like there's this famous he was like a big time drug dealer in like Detroit or something, and he went to prison. This is like a big thing. I think he went on Rogan. He went to prison.
Talking about Ricky Ross?
Is that the guy? Yeah. This dude he like learned how to be lawyering or whatever in prison, and like worked his own case out and got himself out of prison after like 25 years.
Yeah.
What?
I forgot how much I love how dumb you are.
Went down there, got good at lawyering.
He learned how to lawyer
He taught
and stuff.
himself how to read, do the arithmetics and everything. He can count with his shoes on.
But I'm serious though. This is
He doesn't
real.
Yeah.
Ricky Ross. That's the guy. And there's songs about. There's a lot of hip hop about him.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's really cool, dude. While you were in there, did you get any of those tattoos?
I had more that I've covered up since then.
So you did get some work in there.
Yeah, like I've got that right there.
Yeah,
that,
I can tell.
it was prison and my oldest son's name right there.
Yeah. Was that now let me ask you, was it the poke or was it a guitar string needle on a real motor?
It was a sewing needle and a pen tube with a CD player motor and some rubber bands and a eraser and just fucking.
Dude,
I engineered some shit.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah,
dude, isn't it cool? One of the things, and I know prison's bad, right? But some of the shit. I only went to jail. I never went to prison. I did 3 months in county, and some of the shit that I saw people ingenuity and make, like. It was impressive.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and I've like seen people build shit to where they could pass notes 4 floors down through the ventilation.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the coolest thing you saw? Probably.
Well, no.
What's the coolest thing you saw?
A dude that carved fucking chess pieces out of fucking soap.
Oh, that's
and
just
they,
impressive as shit.
Just like fine detail. He'd make them big, small, whatever. And then he'd take them to this, like the workshop place, and the dude would take them and he'd seal them somehow where they would be hard.
Put like a cohesive or adhesive,
some kind of epoxy or something. It was
resin.
the people doing sketches and drawing,
just crazy
making
talented.
Shit, like, fuck, could have done something. It's the people playing music and writing songs and like, damn, you should be on America's Got Talent.
Yeah,
not sitting here in the fucking day room watching these idiots. They what the fuck? Where'd you go wrong?
Yeah, right. They were like, I had a propane tank of
99% of them were drug charges.
Yeah.
I can't I lost track of how many guys fucking were in there because they took 3 or 4 Xanax and woke up in jail watching a tape of them trying to take a lighter or something out of the impulse buy area. Like they paid for their stuff and then like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And go to walk out with it and people try and stop them and they just push them and that's armed robbery.
Man, who hadn't been there though? You know?
I mean, he used his arms.
Yeah.
Armed robbery.
But then you get 18%, before parole.
And also, by the way, you're in Kentucky, which is a lot like Arkansas. It's in the South, where privatized prisons are big money.
Yeah,
I heard that's part of why they're getting rid of the weed here again, is so that people start getting arrested again for weed. It's just like a thing I heard. I don't know if how much.
I wouldn't be surprised because, of course, they're losing
millions.
revenue.
Yeah, millions.
I mean, they're making tax revenue, but
apparently the millions they make off a privatized prison is more than what they're making off taxes.
And it's helping their friends that they've been helping for a while.
Yeah, since forever. That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
I was in a CCA prison.
What's that mean?
Corrections Corporation of America.
So that's a private one?
Privatized prison.
Yeah. So whoever owns that is making
Make it-
crazy money.
They get back then it was like $1,800 a day per person.
Wow. And there's probably how many?
And they
Can we look at that prison up?
And their cost, it was like $2 a day to feed you.
Oh God, it's just.
Corrections Corporation of America. Oh.
I wanted to see images of this fucking place.
Oh, there's tons of them. It was
Now,
Marion Correction
1983. Oh, yeah. Company that
Complex.
owns
This was in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky.
Yep.
And it was an old Catholic place. And they had a new facility up on the hill with the razor wire, the electric fence, all that. And then after you'd been there a while, like if you got medium custody, they would put you down, and it was an old nunnery. I mean, this building was 200 years old. It was like where the nuns stayed, and dude, it was wild.
I wouldn't have thought there was Catholics in Kentucky.
Yeah,
They're everywhere.
they're everywhere, just like cockroaches.
And this is where you spent the 5 year or the 4.5 year stint.
No, I was
you
there
got
for
a nice little view there.
I was there for about 6 months and got moved.
Wow.
And then got moved to let's see, what was it? Sandy Hook Correctional Complex in Eastern Kentucky.
So here you're legit behind bars.
Yes.
It's not like because in county it's like
No.
like doors.
Like the cleanest facility was that Sandy Hook Correctional Complex.
Yeah, when I was in county, you said talking about the guys that do art and stuff.
Right.
I knew a guy in there that his thing was he made roses out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. And colored pencils and
Yeah.
Shape the petals. Yeah, I've seen that, dude. I've
Did
seen
you
some stuff.
when you were in there? Did you get in on? Were you a trustee at all? Did you do work release?
Yes, there for about.
Wow, that's the one.
Which one? That's Eastern Kentucky, Elliott County. Yes, Elliott County, Sandy Hook, the third one over there where it says Alamy. I was
Malcolm
there.
Smith.
Third one on the top, third from the left.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a race car track.
Almost. Yeah, that was the track you could walk around inside the fence.
Oh, okay. Well, so they would let you walk a pretty good
Yeah,
amount.
that's the yard in the middle. There would be like a handball courts. There'd be down on one end was a gym facility and a library and learning facility. Then those red buildings were the wings where you were housed, and you'd go in. It was like 2 stories. There'd be like 500 men.
Wow.
In each wing, 250 on the bottom, 250 on the top, 2-man cells.
Did was it pretty? Did you see a lot of violence or not really?
Yeah, you could, but like they've changed prison so much with so many laws. Like rapists and pedophiles walk around with everybody else because now it's a federal hate crime law that if you assault one of them,
Really?
you're going to get life in prison.
But surely that doesn't deter. I mean, if
doesn't
there's
deter the people that already got life.
yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
But
Right.
anybody that hopes to get out someday,
Yeah. So there's no more PC anymore.
Was that? But that was it like
there
that when you were
is PC, but they can't. There's so many pedophiles and rapists, you can't make the whole prison PC. So they changed federal laws to protect them.
What'd you say, Nicholas?
I was gonna say, was it like that when you were there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When did they make that a law? I wonder. Because when I was in jail, which was 2012, they had PC.
Yeah. Whenever they started in the 80s, early 90s, when they did the federal hate crime laws, it fell under that.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a specific reason that you target them. So therefore, it falls under.
So
federal
is that
hate
why
crime.
the Chavin or whatever, the dude that killed George Floyd, is that why he's still alive?
No,
Probably,
I'd say
I
they
guess.
do have him in PC.
Oh, because it's not a rape thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wild, dude.
Now, if you go in there, you can check in you know, if you're causing problems or if you feel like you're in danger, they still have protective custody.
Mhm.
But usually they'll just ship you somewhere else.
Okay. I had a buddy, one of my good friends. I was a welder for 11 years, and one of the guys that I worked with in the shipyard was.
That's one shot, guys. The drinking game. It's one shot so far.
One shot every time he mentions being a welder
For 11
Yeah.
years.
for 11 years.
11 years.
Also,
or
I'm from
or li-
Boston.
that's 2, baby. That's 2. It's a
Oh,
weld.
this was when I was in Boston. When I was a welder, I was for 11 years.
Boom.
And-
Bam!
Damn.
There's another.
Another
So
2
anyway-
right there.
Anyways, he was in federal prison for like 8 or 9 years, and he said that it was out in California. What are the Longpoke?
Longpock.
Is that what it's called?
I think so. Longpock.
Longpoke, I think.
Longpock.
Longpoke. It's a big
Think
big time federal
is that
prison.
up in like Lompoc?
Yeah.
That's up like near San Jose.
Yeah, it's like Northern California, I think.
Yeah.
But he went up.
That's not near San Jose.
Santa Barbara. Yeah. So yeah, I was wrong.
Okay.
So, anyways, he kept getting switched around, but every time, and this is why he told me this story, but he was saying every time he's 6'9", big ass fucking dude, and every time he would get shipped to a different prison, they would everyone's real nosy in prison because you don't got shit else to do. There's a new guy. We need to know what this guy did. Did he fuck kids? What's his problem?
Yeah.
And he said that
Where's your paperwork?
they would show your papers, and he would always have to have his papers on him every new prison and show people.
Yeah.
And his was like his was all drug related.
Yeah.
But he said sometimes still people would be like, all right, well, you are like a big dude, so let's step in the cell. And for no reason, just because he's a big dude, he would have to like fight like 3 people
Well,
right off the rip for no reason. And then he was a basketball player, so every time he would go play basketball, and if he would win, they would want to fight him. They're like, like just sore losers.
yeah. You
Just
I mean,
jerks.
there's always guys in there that want to start shit or want to act like they're cool, but if you just go in there with the attitude of I came in here by myself, I'm leaving by myself,
Mhm.
fucking I ain't bothering nobody, I ain't fucking with your hustle, don't fuck with mine, whatever mine ends up being.
Yeah.
Like when I was in that CCA prison, I had a guard that I worked for doing like the groundskeeping detail,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a
Oh,
buddy.
that's right.
I had a buddy that put me on a hustle, and then the buddy would send a money order to that guy's house, and that guy would put a pound of tobacco in the bumper of his truck, and then I would get it in.
Nice. And that's good. That's a good
hustle.
hustle right
And
there.
then nobody bothered me because they knew that I was connected to the dude that had the tobacco. They didn't know how. They didn't realize I was the one getting it in,
Nice.
but I was off limit.
Hell yeah. That was your thing
Find
for
a
the
hustle.
for the 4 years.
Yeah, find
That's a
hustle.
good one too, because those motherfuckers, they want something to
Yeah,
smoke.
and then when
How do you smoke in prison? Like, since they banned it, how
out on the yard,
you just get away with
fucking
it?
Sneak, and
Huh.
get caught, get seen, fucking put it out, fucking, they don't care.
And what are you rolling? Or do you is someone sneaking in papers?
Yeah, you'd get a pound of tobacco and 5 packs of buglers. 100,
Okay.
that's 500 cigarettes. Fucking, you'd roll them up. You could sell them fucking 10 cigarettes for $100.
Right. Now, for those of you that don't know, when he says $100, it's not money, it's commissary.
Commissary.
Right.
Or, depending on who it is, you have money orders sent from the outside to the outside.
Okay.
When my
To
people,
go to
when
like
I
your
call home and they say, "Hey, you got some mail today," then I'll bring you your stuff.
interesting. And now, $100 worth of commissary is only what, like a honey bun and a Coke?
It just depends on what prison you're in. I remember one of the prisons I was in, I could get a 12-pack of Mountain Dew in prison cheaper than my family could on the street.
Oh, okay.
But if I wanted a carton of eggs to put in my cooler, I was paying $12. I was paying $1 an egg.
Wait, so you had a cooler?
Yeah.
Like, but how did it have? Where's the ice? Would you have an ice machine?
In the cafeteria or like in that big prison, in each wing they had an ice machine and a microwave. I used to stand behind a dude in line and watch him cook food in the microwave, and I saw his papers. He was in there for putting his fucking girlfriend's baby in a microwave.
Oh, Oh.
Wow.
And
my
that's when I
God.
found out about the hate crime shit. I was like, why is nobody fucking him
Yeah.
up?
You guys know what? You know, guys, this guy loves microwaves.
Yeah, why is he allowed to use the microwave? Why is this a thing? This
What
little son
the
of
fuck?
Yeah.
Add 30 seconds. Ding.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. Pizza, that ought to do it.
Yeah. Popcorn.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it was fucked up. The most fucked up thing I ever saw was when I was in county. Fucking, cause like I got arrested and I had a traffic ticket in another county, and they sent me there, to take care of this traffic ticket, which was squashed by my felonies, and then they shipped me from there to prison. And when I was in there, it was a 48 plus. It was used to be like a 24-man cell, but then they made it like triple bunk, and then they was putting people on the floor. And it was in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And there's it had a mix of people doing state time from Louisville, Hopkinsville, all sorts. Like it was like a jungle in there. It was like 80-something people. And this little dude, they kept fucking with him. And he told them, y'all don't know who I am. Leave me alone. And they took his food.
Oh no.
And we went to sleep. And the next thing I heard, because when the trays would come, somebody boom, boom on the window and holler, trays.
Yeah.
Well, this was in the middle, turns out it was in the middle of the night. I heard trays, and I go to set up, and I hear the most god-awful scream I've ever heard in my fucking life and the most horrible smell.
Oh no.
And it was like, what the fuck? Little dude waited till everybody was asleep and took a bottle of baby oil and put it in a hot pot that you heat your ramen noodles up in. Boiled that shit, walked over and kicked dude's bunk, said, trays. And when he set up, he threw that fucking baby oil in his face.
Oh.
And out of instinct, dude said, ah, and just wiped his fucking in this.
Disfigured forever.
And dude just went, sat down at the table with the hot pot and waited for the cops.
Yeah, because he was he already in? He was.
Yeah, he was doing, like, little dude was in there for gangbanging shit in Louisville.
Fuck.
Like, so he was like, I can't stand you fucking with, this. But, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That
And
was-
you smelled it.
Dude, the smell of baby oil to this day makes my fucking flesh quiver.
Oh.
Yeah,
oof.
you and half the people in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, Diddy's fucking.
Everybody that Diddy knows.
Yeah, god
Fuck.
damn.
But yeah, that was the most horrible, and that wasn't in prison. That was in
that was
the
in
county.
county.
Yeah,
See,
that was
I've
waiting
heard.
to go in the stateside, waiting to go to prison.
Yeah, dude, I've heard. For when I was in county, people that I was in there with had already been down and like
Yeah.
I remember, I'll never forget. I still remember his name. His name was Buster Keaton, and I'm surely this guy's still in prison. But because when I met this guy, he was like the OG in the
pod.
yeah, in the pod, yeah. But there was probably 80 of us in there. Not that not nothing like that. But, it was full and people were on the floor and shit. But he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, youngster, what are you in here for?" And I'm like, "Oh, we fucking robbed a Walmart and my buddy pulled a knife on the Burger King lady and we were doing the Pepsi challenge,
And I told on everyone.
Oh, yeah, and then I told on both my friends. I didn't
And
tell him that
himself.
part, but
And Mason confessed to it blacked out in the middle of a Pepsi
told them
challenge.
shit that they didn't even know.
Yeah.
Fucking Xanax.
But exactly, that's right. And but he was like, "Look, man, I'm going back." He goes, "I'm 50 years old. I've been in and out of prison since I was 18." He's like, "This one that I'm going back for, I'm not gonna be out till I'm like 62. So like, you really need to fucking figure this shit out."
Yeah.
And as I'm telling you this story, I'm high and I forget why I started it.
Yeah.
Is this in Arkansas? Wait, is this in Arkansas? Yeah.
I mean, look at the pictures. Is that what he looked
Holy
like?
shit. No, the bald guy.
He got
It-
out?
Surely not.
Oh,
But in 2003,
Prison
wait,
program.
prison program fosters success for former inmates. Inmate Buster Keaton, that's the guy, talks to Arkansas Board of Corrections member Drew Baker. Did it freeze? We can't go over. Fuck. Yeah, well, I was in there in 2012, And so I guess it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Well,
Yeah,
never
that's-
mind.
And also, he had more tattoos when I met him.
yeah.
But he had like swastikas and shit.
yeah.
Nice guy.
Always worse, never better. That's what they say about it.
Fuck. I
But-
wish I.
While we talk about all that, I mean, since I've gotten out of prison,
Yeah.
I've been out since September 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and since I got out back in Louisville, I helped some people start a halfway house,
Nice.
and it's been running for over 10 years, and we so far have a 0% recidivism rate.
That's awesome.
And in helping start it, what I did was I helped tailor the details and the structure of it, of what's going to work for people like me, what they need, what worked for me, what's helped me, and so far it's helped quite a few guys. And so,
Can I ask you when you got out? When you got out obviously the last time, were you like, yeah, is that when you got sober? Is that when you
Yes.
stopped drinking?
Yeah, well, I was supposed to get out in 2010 or the beginning of 2011, and I screwed up because I was at a different facility, and I had a nurse lady bringing me Suboxone, and I was doing this and that, and then I smoked some weed, and I was like, oh, they can test for that, and then I cried myself to sleep going, God, I don't like me.
Mm.
I'm never going to stay out of prison if I keep acting like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they woke me up 3 hours later and said, hey, Carter, we don't want to do no paperwork. We know you're clean. Come take this drug test.
But wait, you failed. Oh, you had been
And lost
and then,
parole.
Yeah,
I was supposed to be getting out going up for parole to get out. They gave me 2.5 more years before I saw parole.
fuck.
Yeah.
Man, when they tell you no, they make you fucking.
Yeah.
They really make you wait.
And like 2 weeks later they shipped me to Louisville Metro, and we're going to ship me back behind the fence to another prison. And and this dude brought in some weed, and we smoked it that morning, like down in the drunk tank, because it takes days for you to get to a cell in Louisville Metro.
And
you're downstairs for days.
And the drunk tank don't have shit. There's
Yeah.
no You're just
You're
it's
just there.
concrete room.
No mats, no
Oh.
pillows, no blankets.
How long were you in there for? Do you think drunk tank?
I think about a day and a half.
Dude, when I was in county, I had to do fucking I watched a dude beat up another guy, and I didn't do anything about it. And then they put you when you're by yourself,
Isolation.
solitary. I had
Been there.
to do 3 or 4 days of solitary. Dude,
When I got
it was one of the worst experiences of my whole life.
yeah, when I got that drug test, and when they got me back to prison,
Yeah.
I did 90 days in special housing unit, 23 and 1.
That's the
But
shoe.
But you get your 1 hour of rec every day, but if somebody on the wing is beating on the door, this,
Yeah.
that, or the other, they shut it all down, so you're 24-hour lockdown.
Ugh.
So out of the 90 days, I'd say I spent 70 plus in 24-hour lockdown.
Dude, what'd you do? So when I was in there, they gave you a Bible and a piece of paper and a pencil.
They give you any requested religious materials at any point. It's law. They have
Yeah.
to. If it middle of the night you go, I need a Bible, they bring you a Bible. You say, I need a Quran at 6 a.m. the next morning. Guess what? They got to bring you a Quran.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I read a lot of different, studying and going, who's right? What makes more sense?
What if you say, I need Mein Kampf right now?
That's not religious material.
Oh.
You can ask for Norse religious material. Cause
Can't.
You can.
Can.
Ask,
Oh, okay.
Viking stuff and all that. But they would come through once a week with a list of library books, and you could check which ones you wanted. You get to put 5 on the list. But if somebody else gets those books checked out first, and the books on your list aren't there, well, guess what? They don't replace it with something else. Ain't fucking DoorDash. You just don't get nothing.
Yeah, right.
So
Jesus Christ, dude.
I would look in books that I didn't even want to read. I'd be like, that looks like it's gonna be long as fuck.
I'll take
Nobody
it.
else is gonna fucking ask
Yeah.
for this.
Did you? I mean, by the way, the amount of mental gymnastics and strength that you have to be in there for that long. I did 3 or 4 days. And I like cried a lot. I'm like, this is like, I was like freaking out about shit that wasn't even happening outside. Like, I can't imagine 70 fucking days of that. Like, were you doing a shit ton of push-ups and like?
I mean, I would do push-ups every day, not a shit ton. I would read, I would sleep, I would wander around, laugh to myself, tell myself stories. Remember, just
Were you writing by the way, were you thinking about comedy at all at
I've
that
thought
point?
about comedy all my life. Like
Okay.
I grew up in a 90-acre forest without running water, but we managed to have Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
Them's the facts. We
Wait.
lived on the side of a cliff where you had spring water. There wasn't no running pipes through rock half a mile up a cliff to get county water. It just wasn't possible. But my dad got one of them 10-foot satellite dishes back in the day.
So wait, so you didn't have a faucet, like you couldn't flush a toilet, right?
Right. You could bring
But-
water in and dump in it from the spring.
But you
and
had
it would
but you had a TV
that had HBO. Goddamn right we did.
That's Kentucky, dude.
fucking
So
high-tech redneck.
what? So was that by choice that he didn't have running water? or
No,
was
it's
it 'cause-
just where we lived. You know, when we first got the property years ago, it had a well and a spring on it, and then the trailer that was there burnt down, and we rebuilt the house, and then the well collapsed. But there's no way to like they had county water at the road, but the road was a quarter mile down a hill, probably 300-foot elevation change in that quarter mile, and all rock. So there's no way to dig and run.
And how many years did you live like that? Or like what age?
From the
yeah.
80s, and my dad died in 23, and he was still living there.
With that situation?
Yeah.
No. So wait. So as just a few years ago, you and your wife and your family would go see your dad, right?
Yeah, we go to my mom's house.
But then
we'd
would you
go
go
see
see him
yeah.
though? And he was still living with no running water,
Yeah,
but had the TV though.
yeah, he had direct TV at this point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
1,000
We
channels,
upgraded.
baby.
Is there a way? Could we look? Is there a way to see that house?
9350 Allegree Road, Allegre. You want to know how they named that town?
I'll disagree. I don't know.
In the early 1800s, late 1700s, whatever, they wanted a post office near there. And so they called in all the heads of the families of all the big farms around there, and they're like, hey, if we want a post office, we got to name this spot and give this town a name, or they won't give us a post office. And one dude said, I got shit to do. I don't give a fuck what you name it. Whatever you call it, I'll agree. And walked out.
I like that.
And everybody else said, yeah, I'll agree too. I'll agree. And everybody walked out. And the name, and this is in the history books. I don't know how true it is. I just know this is what they taught us in school, and it's in our history books
Yeah.
in Western Kentucky. Allegre, all agree.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Like I said,
Maybe if you try to if you turn it back on, it should connect again. The TV. Did your dad get to vote since he didn't have running water, or was he allowed to
Yes.
still vote?
yes, he
Okay.
didn't vote. He didn't
So-
care.
Oh wait, what was the showering situation?
We would haul water. Like we had a 300-gallon water tank that we built a building for out back, and we could pump water in.
But was it's a steady stream though still?
No, we had a tub.
Oh, you
No,
you bathed?
Yeah,
you
I
bathed?
look. I was never into taking showers till I went to prison. I remember calling home, and Mom was like, "When they gonna let you out of there?" And I was like, "Well, they find out I'm living better in here than I was out there, they may kick me out tomorrow."
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, you didn't. We got sidetracked. You lived in there from what age to what age though? At that house?
From I don't know, the time I was about 9 or 10, the water is when the well collapsed, and until I was 17.
Wow. And when you moved out as a teenager,
Shit, I could buy that a bunch of times.
wait, so your dad, this is your
It's
dad's
not for
this is where you
sale.
grew up, right? Are we
Yeah.
looking? I don't see that. You just lived in those trees?
I'm trying to figure out where this
Did
is.
he paint it camouflage?
Yeah.
That's the street
your
view.
house is camouflaged.
It's a quarter mile up that hill.
So they probably
That's
won't
the
be able
street
to-
view. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that's
road
the
view.
street view.
Yeah. I used to have to
Of
walk down
course.
through that every morning to get on the bus.
Oh my God.
Years
were you-
ago,
The
that
bus comes up and you just come out of the woods.
Yeah, just like a Sasquatch.
years ago, my mom went down there and raked up all those pine needles. It wasn't quite as grown up, and decided she was going to burn them, and caught the whole woods on fire. And I happened to be skipping school that morning. I went out there with a wet towel because we had an old 3-foot pool. I dipped the towel in the pool and was beating trees out till the fire department got there. Barefooted, stomping thorns.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, why didn't I go to school?
You seem like someone who you like to be barefoot, huh?
Yeah.
Does it bother you to walk on like rocks and shit?
When I was a kid, I used to run up and down the driveway barefooted.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know. I ain't done it in a while.
You're a little spoiled now.
Yeah, I've been wearing shoes for a minute. There's something about leaving the woods. Everybody expects you to wear shoes.
yeah, right. Old Buster Keaton, there he is.
Fucking Buster.
But dude, that's wild, man. And that was wait, how old are you now?
I'll be 45 in July.
When's your oh, okay, what's your birthday?
July 26th.
Oh, cool. Be 45. You don't look 45.
Prison has a lot of preservatives in their food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in case they gotta, shut it down for a month or two.
Yeah. what was your favorite day of food? What was your favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Oh God, none.
Well,
There wasn't really a fake. One thing about prison is I'll never eat turkey again
ooh, why?
because that's the only food that every diet and religion can agree on is okay. So it was turkey burger, turkey sausage, turkey bacon,
Oh.
turkey bologna, turkey fucking
So you never had
sausage
real
and
burgers?
no. You could
Oh.
the places that had commissary, you could order like a thing of pre-cooked burgers or those microwave with bun and all that kind of
like
stuff.
a Jimmy Dean type thing.
type stuff, or you could get like a box of banquet chicken but that was
Gross.
when a few of us would get together and make some shit. We'd make the best shit. Like we'd get like
Oh yeah, I'll mix it all together and
yeah,
have
we,
we did that in
everything
county.
from like the noodle stuff to we would do brown rice and order a thing of canned pineapples, make like a stir fry and this and
Yeah.
that. You could
in the
you
sink,
you can
and
get inventive.
yeah,
Yeah.
when we would mix up, so we would have like there was one day where we would get like a breast, I guess, but it had bones in it, the chicken, and everyone would agree that we're gonna like us four, we're gonna get together and we're gonna rip all of our chicken up, we're gonna put it all in one thing, and then mix, and then we would all take Doritos and you'd crunch up the whole bag,
Yeah.
throw that in there, or some jalapeno Cheetos, put
Yeah.
that in there for the spice, and then just mix it all together.
With the
But-
ramen
but
noodles.
this is
and all-
county though, so you don't have a microwave. So you put it in a trash bag,
and
or
just let it
whatever,
sit.
and then you put it underneath the hot water, in the sink, and just let it, and then you just let it sit for a little bit, and then you all like go in and you dip in, and everyone gets a certain portion, and just ugh.
Community.
Yeah. I mean, people are awfully friendly in there. I mean, for the most part, my experience was pretty pleasant. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
what I learned is most of them were strung out on drugs and did some dumb bad shit. They weren't bad people. They were
Yeah.
just in a bad situation, made a bad decision, and they're no worse than all the people out there fucking leading our communities that just didn't get caught.
yep. Another fun thing too, gambling's big.
Oh
in jail, and I was in there when the Super Bowl happened. I don't know sports. I just picked the team that I liked their uniform better, and I picked one that year, and I won. I won a breakfast tray the next morning, and when I had first gotten in there, a guy had bet his breakfast tray because it was during the football season, and he didn't give it up. And the guy that I was sleeping under or above, he goes, "Hey, just so you know, watch out for like that table right there. That guy didn't give his lunch tray up or whatever." And I'm like, "I don't know what that means." And he's like, "You'll see." And and dude, we're eating lunch, and I see this other guy get up, and he walks over. The guy's he's eating his food, not paying attention at all. And this dude walks up behind him and smacks him in the fucking back of his head with a tray and just beats the shit out of this guy. And I'm like, oh. So if you bet a breakfast or whatever
them
tray,
trays are
you better
fucking
give
heavy,
it up.
dude.
Yeah.
Look.
Food's important in there, dude.
Yeah.
They take that shit serious.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
die without it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
take
Well,
everything.
no, I mean, no, I'm just saying, like, you don't really realize, because at any point I could order Uber Eats right now.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. That's what they're like. What did you miss most about prison? Not being able to just walk over and get what I want to eat out of my refrigerator. Yeah, they had commissary, but they only had what they had on
Right.
there, and I only had so much money because I
Mhm.
wasn't having my people send me shit. They didn't put me there.
Yeah, you had your. Thank God you had the tobacco hustle.
Yeah, and my mom would send me $20 a month whether I asked her to or not.
Yeah, my dad.
I'd tell her not
yeah.
to, and it would be there. I could count on it every month anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not being able to go to the refrigerator, like. And now I still don't look. I mean, I don't eat a lot, but when I get ready to eat something, I can go eat what I want.
Exactly.
I got to make
Convenience.
the decision of where I went to get coffee this morning. That's freedom.
So when I got it, I only did 3 months in county. That's nothing compared to what you went through. But I want to ask you. So when I got out, I had a hard time getting comfortable. Like sitting in furniture felt weird, and sleeping in a real bed felt weird. I didn't sleep right for like a few weeks. How was it when you got out?
I haven't slept right in 2013, 12 years.
Was that
I've been out for 12
you
years.
Think it's because of prison?
I don't know. I sleep 2 or 3 hours at a time, and I'm wide awake for 20, 30 minutes.
You might just be wired that way.
I don't know.
It could have been the meth.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Residuals.
fuck. I did meth for so long just trying to stay awake, and all I had to do was quit doing it, and now I can't sleep for nothing.
Yeah, right?
What the fuck?
Did you ever do hot rails? Did you get into hot rails? Did you ever shoot it or no? Nice. You never
Look, one
crossed it.
time, like back in the day, back before I was cooking it, back in the mid-'90s when it was coming from out west.
Crank.
When I was in my teenage years, I had family members that worked with cartels, and I got adjacently involved and was lucky enough that I was able to just walk off when everything fell apart.
Yeah,
I wasn't tied to it. It was a blessing. But anyways, they were bringing in some red rock, looked like fucking rubies,
Yeah.
like
The
glass.
good stuff.
Yeah. And this house I was staying in Allegory, I found a thing of diabetic needles, all steel sealed, this and that, and I got the bright idea. I've seen it on TV. I'm gonna fucking mix it. I put it in the needle, and I tried to squeeze the bubble out, and the entire sharp shot off of it. I said, "Okay, Jesus."
Yeah.
Put it in the pipe, fucking took it.
Yeah, right. Well, smoking, it's funner anyways.
Never thought about shooting it ever again. It was never like that. Okay.
Right.
And so many guys I know, like when I went to prison the last time, the guy I know called the law on me and sent him that direction was a buddy of mine who was supposed to went out with me. Well, he started fucking with this chick, and she got him into shooting, and then he was messing up the money, wasn't being where he was supposed to, and I was like, dude, he's going with me that night, going to help me, was going to get 200 or 300 gallons.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and then he's like, well,
where were you getting this stuff from?
I knew people, farmers. I grew up around there, and I'd be like, hey, dude, you pay $400 for that 900-gallon tank. Get an extra one. I'll pay for it and give you an extra $1,000 to let me use half of it.
Now, what's that stuff actually used for at a
It's
farm?
a fertilizer.
Okay.
You drag these tines in the ground, and it puts ammonia in the dirt, and then you wait a few weeks, for it to kind of seep out a little bit, then you can plant your corn.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's why. That actually, now that makes a lot of sense why people are cooking it
It's
out there.
ammonia with zero anhydrous, means zero water.
Right.
So it's pure ammonia, which in its pure form is a gas unless it's compressed and put in a tank, and then it's 140 degrees below zero.
And is this the stuff that you need that you need matches for?
No.
For phosphorus or
No,
whatever?
That's a completely different
It's another one,
recipe,
yeah.
yeah.
Because there's anhydrous, right?
Yeah.
Then there's shake and bake.
Yeah, which you're
And then
just,
there's the red
Sha-
phosphorus, right?
Shake and bake is the same thing as anhydrous. You're just using 2 other chemical compounds to make the anhydrous in a raw, dirty form.
Yeah, it's the dirt. It's the dirty one.
Yeah, because you're
and that's the one
taking-
where it comes out in powder, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't come out as glass.
Well, a lot of it comes out as powder in the beginning, and then it has to be purified again.
Okay.
And that's how you get the glass.
And how do you purify it after it's powder?
Different solvents, there's different processes depending on which type you're doing.
One time I remember we had gotten some dope. So when I was doing it, it was in the time where you could go buy boxes, of the Sudafed, and then you would trade the boxes, and they would give you like an eighth.
Yeah, you give me 4
or-
boxes, and I'll give you a quarter gram.
Right. We would hit
Each
all the
box
Walmarts.
makes a gram.
Yeah.
So you give me 4 grams. You give me enough to make an 8 ball, and I'll give you a quarter gram. Yeah.
Well,
good deal.
so this guy, so it was like me and 3 of my friends.
Yeah.
And we would all hit all the Walmarts in the area, but it was right when they started making you had to sign
for it.
a thing for it. So you couldn't do it more than like once a month, I think.
Yeah. 6
So-
boxes a month.
And so I don't even think I think you could only
3
get,
boxes.
I think you might have only been one box per
Damn.
person. But there was 3 of us, and we would hit all these Walmarts in all the area. You had to go a certain amount of miles away for it to work.
Yeah.
And we would take all these boxes, and I remember we would get like an 8 out of taking all the. I don't remember how many boxes.
I worked at Big Lots in 1999, and my job was unloading the trucks, and I worked the beauty and the tool section. So they would get in these 100-count bottles of 60 milligram Sudafed pills, and it'd be like 200 bottles in a box. They'd get 4 boxes in. As soon as they come off the truck, I'd set them aside, and the boss like, "What are you doing with that?" I said, "I'm buying all this before I leave." Okay,
Oh wow,
dude, I did that for a year.
but you were cooking it though.
Yeah,
Man, that's were you
That
you
was
doing
back
it
when
at your
nobody-
house?
in the woods. I never did it inside a structure ever in my life.
Yeah.
The last time I did it in the woods at 10 o'clock at night. I took a quart of anhydrous ammonia, 72 slips of 120 milligrams Sudafed, and
Did you need the lithium strips at this point?
I think I had 17 batteries and 8 cans of ether.
God
And
damn.
an hour and 15 minutes later, I came out of the woods with 69 grams.
Fuck. It cooks that fast?
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Did you have a
I've
fun
been doing
nickname?
it since 1997.
Did you have a fun nickname?
Well, there for a while, the buddies, we were all Dr. this, Dr. that. I was Dr. Pepper.
Oh, nice.
And my buddy was Dr. Seuss. The other one was Dr. Kevorkian. And but both of those guys have passed away, James and Joe.
oh,
James
RIP.
ended up with brain cancer, I guess, from breathing so many fumes. And Joe got his life together. And deer ran out in front of him right below my dad's house. And he swerved to miss it and ran off the road and hit a telephone pole, and the light line came down. And he was standing there waiting on police, and then
Oh.
it sparked and caught the woods on fire, and he went to stomp it out and got electrocuted.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
But hey.
Because it was in I'll agree.
I mean,
God
he,
love him.
I mean,
Well-
he must have I mean, no offense to your friend, but it sounds like he really wanted to die because, I mean, he survived the car accident, survived the telephone pole coming down on him. Then
Dude,
there was
this-
a fire. And then,
dude,
of all things, he
Hey.
doesn't burn to death. He gets electrocuted.
Hey, at
Oh.
some point, look, I watched this guy when he was 17. There's a Smiley Face Hill, 7-8 miles down the road, and it's a side road, and it goes like this, like 3 big hills, and then it comes to a stop sign on a road that's got a 60-foot bluff with trees growing up. He jumped his Ford Ranger off that last hill drunk one night, and from the bottom of the tree where it was planted in the road to where his truck was hung up in the tree, 37 foot.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
It was only about 10 foot off the road, but,
Yeah.
the tree, that's the only thing that kept it from.
Wait, he died.
No, he lived through
He
that.
lived?
That's the one that got electrocuted years later. Yeah, he
Oh,
did that when he was
shit.
17.
Pay attention.
He
Keep
done a
going.
lot of,
Damn.
he lived through a lot of crazy shit.
Well, so you get out of prison, though, and then now you're married to a lovely woman. When did you meet her?
I got out of prison in 2013, and a guy that I met in prison, that first year invited me to his mom's house to go to
Started banging his mom.
Thanksgiving dinner, and
No.
I met his daughter. And
Wait, the guy you were in prison with, you met his daughter.
yes, this is not the woman I'm married to now.
Okay, gotcha.
And her and I hit it off, and we ended up getting married a year or so later and had a kid. And then about 4 years after that, she decided she wanted to be polyamorous because she was into women.
I mean, you don't have to make up words, but
But she wanted to be in one of those type of relationships, and at first I was like no, and then I was like, well, I want to save my marriage, and I tried it, and I was unhappy. And
wait, like you tried a 3-way and you didn't like it?
Yeah, I mean, I lived
It's too
all
much
that.
work.
I lived all that when I was on meth and on drugs. I fucking had a buddy that owned a strip club that bought meth from me, and I could go in there and I'd
You've
been there, done that.
that,
I wanted
yeah.
I wanted something real in life at that point. And it ended up falling apart, and I ended up with custody of my daughter, raising her.
Nice.
And through COVID and all that, and then in 2021, I met the woman that I'm currently married to on Match.com.
Awesome.
She was stationed at Fort Knox in Kentucky, and I was living in Louisville. And we met on Match.com and kind of hit it off, and ended up getting married about a year later. And when the government, she's a military officer, she's a major for the U.S. Army.
Oh, cool.
She's active duty. She retires the end of this year, but
Oh, good for her.
in end of 22, we built a house in Louisville, and then 6 months later, they said, guess what? You're going to Texas. And so we've been here.
Damn, did you have to sell that house?
I'm still trying to sell it.
Oh, fuck. So you got a
Yeah,
beautiful house.
A
That's just sitting there.
6-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 2 offices, fucking 3.5 car garage.
Oh, it's like a big old
nice. All
Damn.
smart home, everything integrated.
And no one's in it.
No, well, the renters
no
are
running
moving
water.
out. The renters
Yeah,
are
still no running water.
Still no running water.
It
We
has
got all the other
this
stuff.
one has running water.
It's got a bidet, I bet.
Yeah, but growing up like that in that house, we learned how to do everything. My grandfather moved here from Scotland in the 40s, and his family owned a steel company. And then he got in an argument with his brother and his dad, and he locked up his stuff in stocks, bought a rodeo and a race car, and traveled America with my mom and my uncle.
What do you mean he bought a rodeo and a race car? Like a traveling rodeo and a
He
race
bought
car?
a rodeo that was his, and he traveled as
Like he had bought cows and
cows,
such?
horses, and everything. He's 6'4", cowboy hat, fucking. It was under Shree Incorporated. I don't know what the name of it was. He didn't. When I was little, he had retired from that. He did this in the 60s. He had a Corvette that he built and raced at the Bonneville Salt Flats. But he did that through the 60s, and then when he looked at land, he was going to be Texas, Wyoming, or Kentucky, and he settled in Western Kentucky. And that's how my mom met my dad.
Okay. Now, wait, we got sidetracked. We were talking about you had the house in Kentucky,
and
and now you're in Fort Worth.
Yeah, and he had like patents on steel building shaping machines from the company when they moved from Scotland. But he did everything, and that taught me how we would fix our own stuff. Yeah, there's no way to fix running water through rock,
Yeah.
So we built a room.
You're like, it rains.
We'd haul water and pump it into this tank, and then we'd pump it from there into our house and use it that way.
Now, I have to ask this. I have to. Sorry. What's it like being married to a black lady?
It's same as being married to a white lady, except
Do
for
her parents like you?
her dad's the coolest motherfucker on earth.
Yeah.
Her dad is from Jamaica.
Oh,
Cleon
nice.
Douglas. He's
got the accent.
He's a reggae musician. He's got songs with Marley. Bob Dylan wrote songs and gave to him to put on his old albums. His band was Jamala.
Jamala Harris.
But
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
Cleon
dude.
Douglas. Yeah, that's my father-in-law.
So wait, all right. So how many kids total do you? So you have how many?
I have
kids
3. She has 3. Together we have 6.
Okay, and do the three white ones? Where are they?
One of them's living on his own.
What?
He's 25. The other one lives with his mom. He's gonna be in 7th grade next year. And my daughter, who I have custody of, lives with us, but currently is in Kentucky visiting her mom.
Cool.
Her kids, she has one son that lives in Louisville, a daughter that lives with us that's in her 20s, and we have a daughter that lives in San Marcos going to Texas State.
Awesome. So everyone's doing fucking great.
Yes.
That's cool as shit, man.
Yeah.
So man, I love hearing like same with my friend. You know, I was a welder for 11 years. Same with my friend that lives in Boston. You know, he's got a son and he's married now, building this. He's actually started a fuck. I wish I knew the name of it so we could pull it up. He just built this or bought this old like a church type thing. It used to be a woman's home or something,
Mm-hmm.
but he's renovated it and turned it into a halfway.
Yeah.
He doesn't call it a halfway house.
Transition home.
Yeah.
That's what ours is.
Sober
actually
living.
But
considered.
yeah, it's a sober living. type
Sober
thing.
living transition home. Yes.
And they supply like they have a shuttle that'll come pick you up
Yeah.
and take you to work,
Yeah.
and it's just this beautiful setup.
Yeah.
But you have to be vetted and selected, and there's a lot of work that goes into it.
That's how we do with Second Hope. Is we they're in a DOC halfway house, like waiting to get parole because their custody level's low enough they haven't gotten in trouble. So move them away from the bad guys.
Yeah,
put 'em in this-
nonviolent.
Put them in this facility, and we've got people that go in and help teach some of these guys to read. We got people that go in and teach them how to fill out resumes, how to do job interviews, and we work with these guys for a year to
Is this
6
it?
months. Second Hope Ministries, yes.
Awesome.
And we work with these guys for
Good program.
a year to however long that they're there.
Trying to get him
we-
showers because man, his hands are fucking
yeah.
dirty.
They did put a dirty.
They
they did put an awfully dirty picture up.
He's got cuffs on.
It's
He's
like,
still in the dirt.
It's like
See?
hey, that's you after that dog
Yeah,
almost bit
yeah,
you.
that was me. I was still in the dirt.
And
They
you were
did-
already wearing orange.
Yeah.
They did put a dirty.
Hey, I think that's me hugging Gary right there.
Wait, you?
Before I
you
grew
had
my
short
hair.
hair?
Yeah. I just started growing all this out after I met my wife.
Do you
It was
have?
her idea.
What's underneath the hat? Oh, nice. You
More
do have a
hair.
good head of hair.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and
That's-
they work with the guys, and that way we get to know them. Like they'll go pick them up and take them out to church on Sunday and bring them back, and then help let them serve in the community some to do things and really work with these guys, and then build a base of hey, you don't have to live like that to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go back to prison, and that's kind of it's a different way of living.
Well, when I start, anyways. Point being, I think that I fucking love that, dude. I mean, you're killing it, dude. That's so cool that you went through that and now you're like a normal dude.
Yeah. Or as normal.
Who
as can
who'd
be.
have thought? Don't cook meth or smoke it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what that's one of my bits. I'm like, me and the powers that be have come to an arrangement. I'd quit doing dumb shit. They'd quit putting me in prison for it.
Yeah.
So far, we're both holding our end of the deal.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Hell yeah, dude. Are we at? That's about an hour, probably, right?
Hell yeah.
nailed it. Dude.
How long have you known Mason?
Since 2023, when I got here in June of 2023.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about him?
His jolliness, just fucking. He's always just kind of like I'm sure he has moods. We all do. We're human, but most of the time he's got that little smirk on his face.
You haven't seen this man work a frat tab.
Yeah, I wasn't happy.
Yeah, I can't hold him to that standard while he's on duty at work.
I'm a
that-
different person. When
Yeah,
I'm on
you
the
gotta
clock.
be.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
If
world.
I'm on the clock, I'm kind of a dick.
Yeah, you gotta be. You
Yeah.
got shit to do, or
Yeah.
else you're gonna hear about it.
Yeah,
And who wants to hear
exactly.
about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am with the Kill Tony thing. Like people
Yeah.
are like they want to come. That's why I like taking care of D Madness. I don't have to go do sign-ups.
Oh, true. Oh, by
So-
the way, thank you for making sure that we all got to sign up.
Hey, I
appreciate
missed
it.
what's his name, Kevin, on the second round. I thought he left. I didn't see him, but I'm
It's
sorry.
all right.
But yeah, I love working for the show, but I love working with D Madness more because it's D Madness, and then I don't have to be over there and everybody's like, hey, what did it? I'm like, I want to be your friend, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to do
I'm on-
sign-ups. We
I'm-
can't carry on a 10-minute conversation while I
Right.
got 7 people in line.
And by the way, people that if you don't realize that someone's working that type of event, we just did 2 at Vulcan. I don't think that's like not a secret. And it was one of the most stressful situations that I've ever been in. And also, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But people are freaking out. It's a lot.
I
Yeah.
don't. I can't. Because if I start freaking out, then I'm losing control of my emotions.
I was
and then
talking
that's
more
not
about
good
the
for
Vulcan
anybody.
employees.
Yeah,
that-
well, it's the same. It's the same way everywhere. Like, yes, it's a live show, and it's one of the biggest live comedy shows in history, and probably will be for a long time.
What's it called?
yeah, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
What was
but
it?
but like
Legion of Skanks.
like
Yeah.
I'm in the mindset and at a point in my life that like getting overly worked up about anything is not gonna help the
It
situation.
doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Because then you start running on emotion,
Yeah.
and then you're not doing things clearly.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But my favorite part of working on it is just being part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool show.
Having my name attached to it on Netflix was like, wow.
Right?
Mom,
Pretty
I made
neat.
it. Why'd you die last week? Damn
Oh.
it. She did. She died a week before Netflix. It was horrible.
Yeah.
You missed it, Mom.
Well, she saw it from heaven.
Amen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Wait, did you had to ask the
Plugs?
second question.
Oh, second question.
Yeah, what's your least favorite thing about him? I mean, be real honest. He needs to learn.
That he hasn't dyed that spot in his mustache.
I guess that's not that bad.
Nice. Sorry, you got anything to plug, buddy?
I don't know when this comes out.
It'll be 2 no. Yeah, 2 weeks.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
Next Monday.
Uh,
A week from tomorrow, yeah. 1 week from
okay.
tomorrow.
June 10th, the regular show at the Vulcan. June 12th, Tom's Comedy Club in
Nice.
New Braunfels. We're doing a Big Book Club comedy tour. Starts there. I'll be in Louisville, July 24th through the 27th with Hans Kim and Laser. September 18th, Oklahoma Bricktown Comedy Club, Big Book Club. There's more dates coming on Big Book Club Comedy on Instagram and Dusty Carter Comedy on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Nicholas?
Nicholas underscore Sapaglia on everything. Come to the mothership.
And guys, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, The High Noon Podcast. And you can follow me on Instagram at Mason Smith Comedian. And check out my other podcast, Drooling Banjos, on YouTube and Spotify.